Hey guys, there are some cringy and really embarrassing ways some men simp on social media and in real life and don't even realize it. Simping is such a major turnoff to women that if you do simp, then you're not even going to get past her gate. Never mind into a relationship, never mind even into a one-night relationship. And the harsh truth is, if a woman starts to think of you as a simp, it's nearly impossible for her to change her mind about you. And when that happens, you might as well give up and start all over with someone new who doesn't even know you. But then you'll simp again with the next girl, and pretty soon, by being rejected over and over again, you'll start to think that women only want the Chad and Tyrones of the world. And that's simply not true. Let's look at the embarrassing way men simp on social media and in real life, why it's such an instant turnoff to women, the difference between being a simp and a gentleman, you might be surprised, and the counterintuitive way to know if you are simping or if you are being a gentleman, so you can stop getting rejected and start spending quality time with the kind of women you want to be with. Welcome to Just the Tip. So some of you might be wondering, what is simping anyway? Well, simping basically is putting a woman on a pedestal and treating her like a celebrity by either giving her swaths of attention or spending money on her and just hoping to win some little crumb of attention or affection from her. It's the new term for thirsty, nice guys. Let's look at some social media examples of what simping is, and then we'll look at some real life examples. So here are some embarrassing ways that men simp on social media, and it's way too out of hand. Liking every post that she puts up on Instagram or TikTok and using lots of emojis like hot, drooling, love-struck eyes, or is this too much? Exaggerated compliments on her appearance. You're so hot. Sorry, don't do that. Inappropriate declarations of love or admiration. Marry me, Ashley. And you don't even know her in real life. Even if you did, that's still simping, but we'll get to that. Acting like her boyfriend when you don't even know her, like using pet names or declaring date nights or invites, sending long sappy messages that beg for attention. How about this one? Defending her anti-masculine, pro-feminism, man-bashing posts. Whether you're posting publicly in her comments or trying to slip in to her DMs, social media simping is an instant turnoff. And she may even reply with a thanks, but guaranteed she has little to no respect for you. Now, that's not to say that complimenting is always a bad move. Indeed, complimenting can be a good move, but it's when and how you compliment that makes the difference. And I'm going to tell you more about that in a minute. But first, let's look at the embarrassing ways men simp in real life. And some of you might be surprised by some of these because you're probably doing them and not even realizing. Embarrassing ways men simp in real life include multiple compliments on her appearance in rapid succession, especially in rapid succession. Double or triple texting her when she hasn't even replied to your first text. Being overtly available anytime she wants. If you are starting to see her, publicly marking your territory. This translates to insecure, not proud of. Apologizing when you shouldn't. Definitely watch my video on how not to simp your stories. I'll put a link at the end. Buying her gifts when you're not her boyfriend. Maybe you're just dating. How about this one? Being her emotional tampon when she complains about her boyfriend. There you are sitting on the sidelines orbiting, hoping to get something. Meanwhile, she's just using you. Essentially, simping in real life is when you put her values and needs above your own in every way. But Anna, why is that such a turnoff to women? You'd think they'd like that. No, this is why it's counterintuitive. Simping is a major turnoff because a high-value woman needs to know that you have high value oriented standards, not low, shallow oriented standards. Key point. If everything she does is perfect in your eyes, she knows you are not really seeing the true her. You love the idea of her and the fantasy you've made up in your mind about her. This brings us to the law of real love, which I just made up. So, the law of real love is you can only really love someone else, this other person, if you can see and appreciate, know and understand that they have latent flaws. What are latent flaws? They are the hidden flaws that are not visible on social media or even visually in person. And the law of real love means that you need to be able to not only see those flaws, but she needs to know that you see those flaws. And no, simping is not a flaw that she's going to learn to love because it goes against the law of true love. So how do you show interest without it being a turnoff? Let's look at what simping isn't. Generally, it's not simping. You're more safe if you focus on character-related comments and or compliments. Why? Because this actually shows you have standards, high standards, value-oriented standards beyond the physical. Limit compliments to 1 per interaction maximum. Hint, interaction means she's interacting, she's engaging. If she's not legitimately reciprocating and engaging, stop. You're only feeding her ego. And generalize instead of personalize. Example, social media. You're the kind of woman I would like to get to know in real life. Kind of, not personally, not her, but the kind of. I like some of your qualities. Hope to meet someone in real life who has some of these qualities. Instead of, you're the person for me. Marry me. When can I meet you? Please answer my email. That's simping. In real life, this might look like, so far, you seem like the kind of woman I'd like to get to know better, versus, I've been looking for you all my life. Simping. And in order for you to have high standards, to be able to attract a high value woman, you have to have self-esteem. If you don't have high self-esteem, that's when you slip into simping and you'll never slip into her. Now, what about simping versus being a gentleman? So again, simping comes from a beta male place of feeling low value, whereas chivalry and true gentlemanly behaviors come from a place of feeling high value. And the main difference is intention. When you are in the mindset of vetting her, not getting her, you're going to react and respond in a whole different way. And the chivalrous things you do, the kind and thoughtful and courteous things you do, won't come across as simping, even if some of those actions are similar to some of the simping things we've talked about. In other words, chivalry can include opening doors for her, not purposefully ignoring her texts for days if you're not truly busy, complimenting her, particularly on her positive character traits. Remember, that shows her you have standards and what those standards are that are important to you. Letting her borrow your sweatshirt when she's cold. Women are usually colder than men, unless they have a lot of extra insulation. And yes, you can even tell her she's beautiful, but it's not to get her validation, attention, or approval. In other words, you're courteous and thoughtful because that's the kind of man you are. And as importantly, she deserves it and reciprocates attention, compliments, etc. Not because you want something from her or secretly want to win her approval. So some of you are wondering, like, oh man, did I simp in Anna's comments? Yes, some of you have, but you didn't know any better. And I appreciate your compliments, except the ones where you give me pet names. I really don't like that. I have to say, I really, really don't like that. That's something you should save for your someone special when you actually get her, when she actually deserves you. As well, I'm not here trying to win your attention for my ego. I'm here trying to provide entertainment, edutainment. No, what education and entertainment. So compliments on my video content are welcome, and your comments actually do help my video reach other men who need them as well. So thank you for your comments. Now, while it's safe generally to simp on my page, it's not a good idea for you to do it. Find other ways to write a comment because it's just a bad habit to get into. So how do you stop simping? And then how do you compliment a woman without simping? Mindset. Here's the key. You have to have high standards. You have to have any standards, but better if you have higher standards. Then you have to actively and openly vet for them. Just because she's pretty or hot should not be your only standard. That's shallow. Your mindset must be, she has character flaws. We all do. She has character flaws. What are they? And then you want to ask yourself continuously as you're getting to know her, what are her character flaws? Does she still qualify for me? What other character flaws does she have? Does she still qualify for me? Does she meet my standards? That's the mindset you must have. And that's not to say you're going to point out her flaws to be mean or cruel, but you're certainly going to be aware of them. And sometimes, yes, you are going to call her out on them. With this mindset, she will know that she is under review for you, which means she knows you have high standards. What do high value women need from a man? She needs to know that he has high standards. This means that if she eventually does capture you, your heart, your attention, your love, your care, then she deserves you and she knows you deserve her. Now, as I mentioned, women do love compliments, but there's a way to give them that makes them intrigued instead of instantly turned off. So you will want to watch how to compliment beautiful women without being creepy or simpy. And in that video, I share my favorite compliments. Thanks for being here. God bless.